Canterbury Tales. Some might say, why do you us be fooled? We studied Chaucer when green at school. But these new tales we must not adore. You have never heard their likes before. The pilgrims, whom you will short behold, are East Midlands folk, both young and old. The region where Chaucer learned his trade, and there he the English language made. Our tales may convey no verbal gems, but watch us sparkle like diadems. We'll wink and flash before your eyes, as we fill your hearts with wild surmise. What is your task, you may fondly ask? Do we quiet here, just sit and bask? No! This eve you will be swinging, for you must join in the singing. This is simply a pilgrim song. We sing it as we march along. So meet our guide by the music stand. Become a part of our merry band. But first, we must help you on your way, to ensure your voices do not stray. So listen well, and then you will glean the marching song of our pilgrim queen.
Ding dong, the bells of Canterbury. Ding dong, it's time for us to grow. Ding dong, much extraordinary. Pilgrims all towards the bells we go. Ding dong, the bells of Canterbury. Ding dong, it's time for us to grow. Ding dong, much extraordinary. Pilgrims all towards the bells we go. Pilgrims all towards the bells we go.
So welcome all. You've heard us sing, and now we'd like you to join in. So all look left to see the words, then sing right out or you won't be heard. Once more, my friends, don't stand aloof, and together then, let's raise the roof.
Ding dong, the bells of Canterbury. Ding dong, it's time for us to grow. Ding dong, much extraordinary. Pilgrims all towards the bells we go. Ding dong, the bells of Canterbury. Ding dong, it's time for us to grow. Ding dong, much extraordinary. Pilgrims all towards the bells we go. Pilgrims all towards the bells we go.
First, my friends, set I the scene of a past long gone in century 14. You'll see the denizens of this former time as they pass before you, line by line. These pilgrims are not searching for renown as they enter each quiet English town, but heed the urchins who will be focused. Their arrival will not go unnoticed. Gentle folk, not steeped in privilege, hoping just to go on a pilgrimage, for this long journey has no enforcer, just the friendly face of Geoffrey Chaucer. He saw the pilgrims in the Tabard Inn, in Southwark town, when amongst the din each was charged with telling a tale, in front of all, while drinking ale. But their journeys he did not describe, for they all just listened as each imbibed, forgetting, as they made so merry, that they had to walk to Canterbury. The new tales we tell are clear and stark. They begin in the old town of Newarke. These pilgrims did not sit around and yarn, but strode through woods and past house and barn, a journey of at least 60 leagues, through brambles, nettles, and noxious weeds, resting each night at a country inn, where once settled and restored within, they each told their tales to one and all, keeping, like you, in heavenly thrall, till bored they soon drifted into sleep, as a surfeit of tales can make you weep. And next morning at the break of day, their weary limbs were driven on their way, cross marsh and field to distant ferry, and where we are now, to Canterbury. So, unlike Chaucer, merry band, the Newarke pilgrims were footsore and tanned. Only 3 will present themselves this eve. The rest are silent with tales up their sleeve. The 3 of Newark's Sir John Arden, a surgeon who you will be praised to stardom. You will sing his praise high to the rafter, for his knack of joining skill to laughter. Next, the fundament of female knowledge, not Chaucer's claim of winter forage, but like Mansy's wine in fine carafe, there is no one as fruity as the wife of Bath.
But who shall tell our final tale? Is it Sir Lancelot and the Holy Grail? No. We need a sage of campanology. If that's the case, it must be me. Now let us welcome you to our show. It will tell you all, and even more than you need to know. And if perchance you let attention droop, you'll spring to life with our singing troupe.
A journey long from Newarke town to Stamford and from Cambridge down towards the mighty river Thames, waves glistening forth like diadems, then to Rochester by sturdy ferry, to join the road to Canterbury.
Ding dong,
I too can labour up and down, cross wolds and fens from my hometown, and journey on foot with just one ferry, from Newarke to Canterbury. And when each night we spend in hostelry, our tales we will tell in revelry. On the morn I crossed the Trent by barge, on mine own Newarkean pilgrim marge. Now, the tale I tell is close to home, its origins my very own. The time I opened up a backside, with smells offset by formaldehyde, to see a chamber deep within. I hardly knew where to begin.
The time has come for the surgeon's tale. Prepare yourself and do not grow pale. Your soft emotions now must harden as you follow the knife of Sir John Arden.
Now the tale I tell comes in little pieces, as my knife cuts through many creases. Down around about the bum, where smells and putrefaction come, is the deepest place where I must operate, with Seth, my true and loyal mate. My tale is simple and pure, an attempt to extract a cure on the cavern, the strongest stored within the bottom of a lord, full of pus and dissolution. It must be cleaned and removed with full ablution. First, with care and with precision, I must make a small incision in the cavern of the cleavage of our bottomed man of privilege. That should do it. And find the rotten stuff deep within.
Anesthetic.
And clean it up with white muslin. I must remove each rag, most stinking and foul.
Contact the priest, quick.
Once I've removed the rags most foul, I should probably replace it with a cleaner towel and... there we go. Could you help me with this, will you? There we are. Yes, that's the one. And there we are. Well,
I feel better in a minute.
thank you, Seth. With great excess, this operation has been a success. Why no answer from my humble friend? Have I said something to offend? 'Tis strange my friend did not want to stay. I wonder what made him run away. Was it the blood, the pus, the stench? Or was he distracted by a wench? It's rather annoying, though. I need him to perform this chore. Remove this mummy from the floor.
The moral of this tale we must share for aspiring surgeons everywhere. If you go from rags to riches, do not dig below the breeches. But on this sad case we must not dwell. There pilgrims tread forth upon their path and wait guidance from the wife of Bath.
Ding dong, the bells of Canterbury. Ding dong, it's time for us to grow. Ding dong, what extraordinary. Pilgrims all towards the bells we go. Ding dong, the bells of Canterbury. Ding dong, it's time for us to grow. Ding dong, what extraordinary. Pilgrims all towards the bells we go.
Pilgrims all towards the bells we go.
You interest me, you Surgeon Bowles. I like the story that you've told. And I will join you on your route, though I for Newarke care not a hoot. I will tell my tale in Stamford town, nestled in an eiderdown, where husbands come and husbands go, bobbing their bottoms to and fro. Some women for muscle have a mind, but I prefer a man's behind, with rounded buttocks and heaving hips, riding the waves like Viking ships. And ladies, I have known sheer heaven, for husbands have I had full 7. Ooh. Yes. There was Adam.
Oh, yes.
And Bertram. Yeah. And Cuthbert. And Dick. Stupid boy. And Eric.
Good evening.
And Francis. Francis, yes. And Guy, who went as he came, too quick. Let men look down with disdain and scorn. I am proud to have been a woman born. But now I must introduce one of my own sex, whose life is recorded in royal texts. Come out, my dear, from under your umbrella. This is King John's queen, Isabella. Ooh.
My tale is tangled, greatly ravelled, for I am a queen who is much travelled. Married once or twice, I get confused, as of much nonsense I've been accused. For my life of passions and fine flumery, to my solace in this quiet nunnery. But where do I begin? The plot is muddled, and my brain now is quite befuddled. It started at the age of 12. I must repeat, at the tender age of 12, when I was a mere skinny demoiselle, but with the style of a young gazelle, received a visit from my king. I thought he was just loitering.
She should be coming on too. Charmed was she at first, but then she sighed. This man wanted her to be his bride. She recoiled at once in mortal terror, convinced that he had made an error.
My lord, I said, you must have thought that I was one of the ladies in the court, but I am just a wayward child, and when I'm bad, I'm really wild.
Oh, that's what I've heard.
He said with glee.
That's why I wish to share my bed with thee. Ooh. From now on, your life will be stellar, for you will be my queen, Isabella.
I spoke to Father. Father, do you not care at all about my life and what will befall?
Dear daughter, please take his hand, as he will double all my land. And once safely married, that is when you restore the fortunes of Angoulême.
Oh, hello!
Ding dong.
I protested long, but held my voice, for I understood I had little choice. In this game of chess, I was just a pawn. So however much that I was torn between my present life of bliss in France and warring Albion with sword and lance, my father's eye had the chess move soon. If I crossed the board, I would be queen.
Queen she became, and would discover her John was an ardent lover. Her body was prone to change its girth, much movement down the canal of birth, and princes and daughters in succession left the realm with the impression that she was but a baby farm, rather than a queen to charm.
And what did I think of this? A parody of wedded bliss. No finer life was in my sights. As mere woman born, I had no rights. But when John died... But when John died...
He's gone. No.
Not dead yet. Isabella, I thought you loved me.
Oh, that felt good. But when John died in Newarke town, no longer was I feeling down. As queen was I took my chance to return to my dear France. When life restored, I remarried, no longer by ill suitors harried. Till now in age no longer summary, I humbly stay inside this nunnery.
So what do we think of Isabella's life? Was she right to become a royal wife? Oh yes, without possession of pomp and wealth, no chance had she to become herself. So now, will you choose to heed my advice, or stake your fortune on a game of dice? Is life a game? To depict it best, we must return to the board of chess.
This is a story of 3 young souls gambling in the lush Lincoln walls. Tut tut, no, I am not rambling. The word I used was not gambling. They played a game that I can profess was very close to the game of chess.
I am a pawn. My name is Millie. Others may think I'm rather silly, though in my head I'm not so dense, as I have lots of common sense.
You may call me Guinevere. As for Millie, I can only sneer. You'll be a Jezebel, and I the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Though you and I look the same, I too have a special name, one proud to bear since I was born, the magnificence of the dawn.
So we joined the pawns on Lincoln Green, each one wishing to enhance the scene. First on the square was Lady Mildred, some quarter once her head was gilded. Held so high, her neck stretched to the sky. If she flapped her arms, she would surely fly. Her humble start she must firmly score. Her board of life, no place for a pawn. Not for her the slow march
Ah, my dear, though you are a pawn, but though not to you the manner born, I would ask you to change your life, perchance become my lady wife.
Goodbye, my sisters, I am taken, but do not believe I am forsaken. For in the light, no longer shady, he is my knight, and I'm his lady.
Can we get a proper horse? Next on the board is Guinevere, a bold mademoiselle who showed no fear. And for the show her deference, she was never short in confidence. What epithet was she to adorn? Just anything other than a pawn. She was worthy of a noble life, one free from want and one from strife.
Drink my health from a silver chalice, and I'll drink yours from the bishop's palace.
But as for Dawn, she plods slowly on, not caring that other pawns have gone. She is simply not a piece of fluff. For her, most men are not good enough. For she has much higher aims in life, not for her the drudgery of wife. The root of the board is simply seen. The last square transforms her to a queen. Now at last she has traversed the board, and all who watched are dazed and awed. She's no longer clothed in black and brown, her tunic's changed into a regal gown. And so, a lesson clear must come to mind, a clear principle for womankind. Stay on the path that you have defined. Do not let others control and bind. Our pilgrims now rise from Stamford's care with feet still aching and hard to bear. But with devotion and earnest prayer they journey south in the morning air. Past Cambridge, town of diversity. A strange aim to be a university, but pilgrims will not divest their colours and ditch their vows for capes of scholars. So as they approach Chelmsford town, their bodies wearied, but not bowed down. One token only can keep them strong. You can strengthen them with our marching song.
Ding dong, the bells of Canterbury.
Ding dong, it's time for us to grow. Ding dong, march extraordinary. Pilgrims all towards the realms we go. Ding dong, the bells of Canterbury. Ding dong, it's time for us to grow. Ding dong, march extraordinary. Pilgrims all towards the realms we go. Pilgrims all towards the realms we go.
Well done, sweet dwellers of this town. Your singing has not let us down. Now oil your voices so they do not fail, as we move on to our final tale.
Walking, 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 talking, 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 as all the people to be merry. Walking, 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 talking, 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 towards the bells of Canterbury. We are walking, 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 talking, 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 weaving all our magic spells. Walking, 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 talking, 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 till we reach the Canterbury bells. Till we reach the Canterbury bells.
Yes, towards the bells that make their way south to the next place in our play. And next, after crossing Father Thames, clinging the coastline by his Thames, lies Rochester, the pilgrim's portent, great jewel in the crown of Kent.
bath. Your wit makes me laugh. It pivots joyful on my staff.
Cheeky man.
Oh, but a much better yarn foretells my tale about the magic bells, where the gods in Mount Olympus stay and games among the heavens play. It gives each ringer a special thought, that all their ringing is not for naught, but destined for superior things. So the sounds that others just hear as rings can raise the listener to a higher plane, a place of joy, completely free of pain. So wait in anticipation and prepare yourselves for elation. My tale comes from high above, a story of what I think is love. But is it loud hurrahs or just whimpers? Let's join the gods on Mount Olympus.
These gods control the earth and skies, but each with every one vies, planning their conquests in disguise. One goddess in particular they prize. The goddess of music is Terpsichore, enticing them to come for more. With an offer they'd scarce refuse, with Polyhymnia, her constant muse.
Ye gods of Olympus, 'tis time to woo, and truly I am well disposed to you. If you win the contest, you shall be led delicately to my marriage bed. But the victor must, to win my hand, win the game that Zeus has planned. What is in his mind, I can only guess. Let us hope 'twill lead to happiness.
Now Zeus, was he of playful bent, and over keen on merriment, a game of bells ringing in the skies, in which Terpsichore would be the prize. The task, for each god to make a bell, tuned well to sound, a thunderous knell, heard by all the gentlemen and ladies, and at the gate of hell by Hades.
So they all jumped up, these gods of yore. Life in the heavens could be such a bore. Their assets were nothing short of lavish, but all thought of Terpsichore to ravish.
So all in order, quite obsequious, they queued up to see Prometheus, to provide the fire and then the fettle, after the melting of the bell metal. But shock had they all when he proclaimed,
"Your manly ardour must now be tamed. Your instincts must be raised much higher. I'll not provide you with my fire."
The gods jumped and cracked the skies asunder, and deep below Cupid heard the thunder, followed quick and fast by lightning storms, the angry arrows of these godly forms. But Hermes, he the god with twitching wings, was plotting his way towards other things. While other gods had no bells to peal, he would find a good one to steal. At midnight, in the temple of Zeus, Hermes flew in to make the belfry loose, unscrewed the bell, and with much heaving, completed his ungodly thieving. Then, like a ghostly heavenly bat, he glided to where the dog was sat. Cerberus, the many-headed cure, at the gate of hell on the planet's floor.
May I tickle your floppy ears? With all your heads, this will take years. Though it may take a little while, your growl will soon become a smile. Tickle, 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 tickle.
Cerberus soon rolled upon his back. For affection he did sorely lack. And Hermes now could quickly fly and place the bell where it could not cry. Then, when the game needed a result, he could draw out his catapult and fire a missile at the bell to ring right through the halls of hell. The other gods saw was deceit was afoot, so to creative thinking their minds were put. chimes.
Sorry.
But there's another god that you must follow. His name is legend. He is called Apollo.
God of music, prophecy and truth, a man of purpose and eternal youth. But he scorned his looks.
For what are they for, if I cannot win the hand of her terpsichore?
So back he went to his drawing board, understanding what he had ignored.
Virgin bells I must spend less time making, and scour a bell that is resonating. I will search for a bell that will so resound, when chimed it will deafen all around, and make all bells ring in tune. I'll make it happen, I'll make it soon.
Yes. So he tested every single bell. He tested long and he tested well. Till at last he found one high upon the hill that would show his prowess and test his skill.
The day of the contest did duly dawn. The gods assembled on this glorious morn. Each showed to the judge their chosen bell, their love for Terpsy, and their names as well.
And in the distance Hades bent his ear to listen with care so he could hear sounds of celestial ringing in the air from the one who would win the goddess fair. But their rotten bells were dull and weird, and the sound they carried soon disappeared, till Hades shouted,
No. If that's the best you can do, I'm off to hell to make infernal stew.
Then Hermes arose with his catapult, and from his sling he took a thunderbolt. He fired it towards his stolen bell, and waited for the sound of the winning nail. But the fiery heat at Hades' door bent the thunderbolt more and more, till at last it smashed against the gates of hell. So no sound was made from the stolen bell. Apollo then took his bow and arrow, braced his back and focus narrow on the bell others thought 'twas the simplest, way up high on Mount Olympus.
Hour of gold, serve me well, guide me towards the chosen bell, which when resound will make Apollo's name renowned.
But the sound they made was not at random. The peals rang in an irresistible tide that swept all before it, out and inside, till Hades shouted from his home in hell.
I can hear it now. I can hear it well.
So Apollo was crowned the new Bell King. But the prize he'd won was everything. He bowed his head towards the floor.
I am your slave, O Terpsichore.
Let us now our pilgrims regale, for we have finished our final tale. We have been honoured to have you here. You could have been in alehouse drinking beer. But one task remains for this tuneful throng. Must join us in our final song.
Ding dong, the bells of Canterbury. Ding dong, it's time for us to grow. Ding dong, march extraordinary. Pilgrims all towards the bells we go. Ding dong, the bells of Canterbury. Ding dong, it's time for us
friends, I see you are imbued with the need to show your gratitude to our pilgrim cooks, who, with skills culinary, have brought spice to Canterbury. And applaud yourself for joining in.
If you'd like to be featured on Newarke TV, why not drop us a line on info@newarke-tv.co.uk. Oh, and don't forget, hit the subscribe button